I've always been into Instagram, but not in a way where I cared about followers or likes. I mostly posted about my dog, the gym, or just random pictures with my friends. I wasn't Instagram famous or anything. I had maybe 400 followers at the time this happened. One night, I was laying in bed scrolling through my feed when I got a notification that someone new followed me. The username was something like Mia.cheo. I clicked her profile and it looked completely legit. Dozens of photos spread out across years, tagged locations in different cities, and even tagged friends who looked like they were real people. She had around 7,000 followers, which was a lot compared to me. Her pictures made her look like the type of girl who could be a model. Brown hair, bright green eyes, perfect smile. At first I assumed it was just one of those fake spam accounts, but the comments were convincing. Her friends were tagging her, real guys leaving compliments, even what looked like her family commenting on birthdays and holidays. Before I even considered following back, I got a DM. "Hey, I know this is super random, but I saw your profile and thought you were cute." I froze for a second because I had definitely never had someone just openly say that in a first message. I replied with a cautious, "Hey, thanks, haha." She instantly messaged back and we started talking. It felt natural, like she was really on the other end. We talked about music, hobbies, school, normal stuff. She even sent a voice message at one point, and it was a girl's voice, soft and casual. After maybe 2 hours of messaging, she gave me her number. The next few days we texted constantly. She sent selfies that matched her Instagram pictures, and I even heard her voice on the phone when she called by accident. It was all consistent. I couldn't find a single reason to think it wasn't real. By Friday, we agreed to meet. She suggested we hang out at a small park just outside of town. It sounded a little weird to me because most people would just want to meet at a cafe or somewhere public, but she said she wanted a quieter spot to talk without running into people from school. Against my better judgment, I agreed. That night, I drove out to the park. It was about a 15-minute drive from my house, tucked into a wooded area. The parking lot was small, and the only light came from a single flickering lamppost. There was only one other car parked there, a silver Honda Civic. I texted her when I arrived. She replied instantly, "I'm here too. That's my car you parked next to." But when I looked at the Honda, the windows were completely tinted. I couldn't see inside at all. I texted, "Do you want to come out?" No response. Instead, the car's passenger side window rolled down halfway. A hand reached out and waved at me to come closer. It wasn't a small or delicate hand. It was broad, with thick fingers, veins visible even in the dim light. I stopped dead in my tracks. My gut dropped. I texted again, "Where are you?" A new message came in immediately. "Right here, silly. Come say hi." That was when I knew something was horribly wrong. I didn't move closer. Instead, I shouted, "Step out of the car." The hand retreated inside, and for a moment, nothing happened. Then the driver's side door slowly creaked open. Out stepped a man. Not a girl. Not Mia. He was tall, maybe 6'2", wearing a black hoodie pulled low over his head. His face was mostly hidden, but I caught the reflection of his eyes glinting under the lamppost. He just stood there, staring at me without saying a word. I bolted back to my car. I didn't look back until I was inside with the doors locked. When I did glance up, I saw him still standing by his car, head tilted slightly like he was studying me. I jammed the keys into the ignition and peeled out of the parking lot. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely control the wheel, but the nightmare didn't end there. As I merged onto the road back to town, I noticed headlights appear in my rearview mirror. A silver Honda Civic. No mistaking it. I tried to stay calm, telling myself it could just be a coincidence. But when I took the first right turn, so did he. When I slowed down, he slowed down. When I sped up, his headlights grew brighter in my mirror. I cut down side streets, weaving through back roads as best I could, but he stayed on me. At one point, he even killed his headlights and tailed me in the dark. My stomach sank every time I looked in the mirror and saw nothing. Then suddenly his lights would flare back on just a few car lengths behind. I was panicking, trying to think of where I could go. Home wasn't an option. I didn't want him knowing where I lived. I drove toward the only 24-hour gas station in town, figuring if I pulled into a well-lit area, he might back off. The gas station came into view. Relief started to wash over me, until I realized something that made my blood run cold. The gas station lot was empty, completely empty. Even the clerk inside wasn't visible through the window. It was dark, no cars, no life, and the Civic was still behind me. I didn't stop. I blew through the lot and back onto the road, my brain firing off in panic mode. I started heading toward the highway, hoping I could lose him with speed and distance. But just as I approached the on-ramp, his headlights suddenly disappeared. 1 second he was there, the next, nothing. I slowed down, looking in every mirror, my skin crawling. I didn't trust it, but after 10 minutes of not seeing him again, I finally turned toward home. When I got back, I sprinted inside, locked every door and window, and collapsed onto the couch, trying to catch my breath. I picked up my phone and opened Instagram, desperate to see if Mia was still active. The account was gone, completely deleted. The next morning, I couldn't shake the feeling that I had barely escaped something I wasn't supposed to. Out of morbid curiosity, I Googled Instagram lures rural town and found a forum thread about people, mostly young men, being tricked into meetups through hacked profiles. The posts all describe situations eerily similar to mine. Fake accounts, pretty girls, arranged meetups in isolated areas. And in at least 2 of the stories, the men hadn't come home. I realized then how close I'd been to being one of them. To this day, I don't know who was behind that account, or what exactly would have happened if I had walked up to that car. I don't know if it was one man or if others were waiting nearby in the woods. All I know is that I can't look at Instagram the same way again. Every time I get a new follower request from someone I don't know, my chest tightens. I never meet strangers from social media anymore, because I can't shake the memory of that man standing under the flickering lamppost, his face hidden in shadow, just staring at me in complete silence. And I can't help but wonder how many others weren't as lucky as I was. I used to think that the creepiest thing that could happen online was getting a weird message or a scam link. I never thought something as simple as posting pictures on social media could put me in real danger, but it did. I had around 1,400 followers on my Instagram. Most were friends from school, some coworkers, and a handful of random accounts that followed me after liking a picture. It was nothing unusual. I'd post pictures of myself at the gym, with friends, at the beach, or just random things I found pretty. I wasn't trying to get Instagram famous. It was just fun. Then one day, I got a new follower request. The profile was strange. The username was something generic like Chris Real 1972, and the profile picture was of a man with a stiff smile that almost looked forced. He looked way older than the type of people that usually followed me, maybe late 40s or even 50. He only had 5 posts, all selfies taken in dim lighting, and he followed hundreds of accounts but only had a few followers himself. I don't know why I accepted it. Maybe because I felt bad declining follow requests when people seemed harmless. At first it was nothing. He liked a few of my pictures, never commented, just the kind of quiet interaction I didn't think much about. But then he started being the first person to like every single photo I posted. It didn't matter if I posted at 2 p.m. or 3 in the morning. Within a minute or two, he had already liked it. Then came the comments. It started with little things like pretty or heart emojis. I tried to brush it off, but then he started making longer comments. On a picture of me at the gym, he wrote, "Bet you smell amazing after a workout." On a photo of me at the lake with friends, he wrote, "Wish I was there watching you swim." I deleted that one quickly, embarrassed and disturbed. I showed my friend Emily, and she told me to block him. I didn't. I figured it was just some creepy old man who would eventually get bored and move on. But he didn't. Instead, he started messaging me. The first DM was short, "You're beautiful." I ignored it. Then another, "I feel like I know you already. I think about you all the time." That one made my skin crawl. I finally replied with a single word, "Stop." I thought that would scare him off, but it only made him more persistent. His messages started coming every night around midnight. Sometimes they were long paragraphs about how lonely he was, how he thought I was his soulmate, how he dreamed about me walking into his life. Other times they were just unsettling, like, "I know what you're doing right now." The worst was when he sent me a picture. It was blurry, taken from far away, but it was clearly me, walking down the street near my house, wearing a hoodie and carrying groceries. I froze when I saw it. My heart dropped into my stomach. This wasn't just some random man on Instagram. He had followed me. He knew where I lived. I blocked him immediately. I locked my account. I even deleted a few recent posts that showed too much of my neighborhood. For a few days, nothing happened. I felt a little safer. Then came the knock on the door. It was a Tuesday night. My parents were away visiting family, and my little brother was at a friend's house, so I was alone. I was in my room, scrolling on my phone, when I heard it, 3 slow knocks on the front door. I froze. We don't get many visitors at night. I crept to the window and peeked out. Parked across the street was a car I didn't recognize. An old dark sedan with tinted windows. My stomach twisted. I didn't answer the door. Instead, I went back to my room and locked the door. 10 minutes passed. Then I heard something else. A window sliding open downstairs. I panicked. I grabbed my phone and called 911, whispering into the receiver that someone was trying to break in. The operator told me to stay on the line, to stay hidden. I slipped into my closet and shut the door, trembling in the darkness. My heart was pounding so hard I was afraid it would give me away. Then I heard footsteps. Heavy, deliberate footsteps coming up the stairs. I covered my mouth to keep from making a sound. Through the crack in the closet door, I saw the hallway light flicker on. The footsteps stopped right outside my bedroom door. The knob turned. My bedroom door opened slowly, hinges creaking. Then I saw him. The same man from Instagram. The same stiff smile, the same gray hair. He was in my room. He stood there for a moment, looking around, breathing heavily. Then he whispered, almost playfully, "Where are you hiding, sweetheart?" I almost screamed and forced myself to stay quiet. He walked further into the room, checking under the bed, opening drawers, even peeking behind the curtains. He got closer and closer to the closet. I thought I was gonna die. Just then, the sound of sirens filled the neighborhood. Blue and red lights flashed through the window. The man cursed under his breath and backed away. I watched as he climbed back out through the same window he had broken into. The police caught him trying to run to his car. When they questioned me later, I found out something that made everything worse. His name wasn't Chris. He wasn't even from my town. He had been driving over an hour every few nights to sit in his car outside my house. The police searched his vehicle and found rope, duct tape, and a large hunting knife in the trunk. I couldn't stop shaking when they told me that. He had been planning something. And if the police had arrived even a few minutes later, I might not be alive to tell this story. Now my Instagram is permanently deleted. I don't share my life online anymore. The thought that a stranger could know where I live, could watch me through their phone, could take something as innocent as a picture and turn it into a nightmare, it changed me forever. Sometimes at night when it's quiet, I swear I can still hear those slow, heavy footsteps outside my bedroom door.